Alright guys, tonight I'm going to tie a version of a Munker. So I suppose this is a Magenta Munker, and what I'm aiming for here is something in the Kelvin's colour scheme. What we have here is about 10 or 12 mil of a magenta outer tube, and I have a black inner forced into that. So I'm just going to use my tying thread just to tighten the outer tubing down around around that liner and the flange in it, just so that it won't slip out. I know that some of the Munkers don't use that at all. They just have they just tie the whole thing on inner and then slide a bit of silicone tubing or something like that on. So this is just a little colour point, so it's a bit of red light bright type dubbing. We're just creating a ball of that. Tie it off, and then I'm going to get a blob of super glue on there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a big bead on. Now this is a Spirit River bead. It's a 6mm bead, and it has quite a big hole in the back that will actually envelop the inner and outer tubing and sit back on that, and that gives us our weight to get this fly to sink. So next, you can use mylar tubing and flare it out at this stage, or you can use some sort of light bright, or even if you took a your tinsel, cut it up into strips, flash-a-boo kind of thing, you could take bunches of it and sort of fold it back on itself. So I'm actually going to use an orange light bright here, and I'm just lining up the bunches. I'll double the bunch over, cut it off. What I want to do is create a skirt of an orange or copper light bright, because that fits in with my traditional sort of Kelvin's colour. So if I take that bunch, set it on and let it splay all around, loose wrap on, then tighten it up, allow that to flare out and fold it back on itself. That'll create us like a skirt or halo of flash, like a fake hackle. So next I'm going to put on some eyes. So you can buy easy eyes. In this case I've actually made my eyes, so I made them out of heavy nylon and seed beads, and I dipped them into 5-minute epoxy and then let it set. And I'm just going to flatten the nylon a little bit on these, set them up. The idea is that the bead will sort of kick the eyes out sideways. Like shrimps. I'm going to super glue that. Keep them in position. So, Magenta Munker. I think Munker stands for like a mix between a zonker and a Munker. So what I'm using here is this is a Future Fly opossum. It's a two-tone, sort of like magenta and purple. And I've cut a strip of that off. Now some people will cut the end of it into a very fine taper. I don't think you need to do that to that extreme. So I will taper the end of it a little bit just with the scissors here, but the actual hair that's coming off the back of it is coming off for another, what, 5 centimeters or so, so it creates the taper. So if we lay that on, what we'll end up with is maybe 2 tube lengths of actual skin out the back. I'll just pull this forward. Now if you want the fly to be more dense, you can tie it in across that bunch like that, or you can pull this back and tie just on just across the skin itself there and ignore this hair. So it just gives you the 2 options. What we'll do, we'll show you here, we'll tie across the whole lot. Gives you that bit more density, and also what it has the effect of doing is kicking some of these fibres here up and creating, because it's shortening some of these fibres, it almost gives you like a fake hackle. So now if you want, you can get some sort of flash in. What I'm going to use here is a crinkle mirage. So I'm going to take a strand of that, double it over, tie it in on top, and then take it and fold it back on itself, slightly out to the side, hold them out and trim them off, and that means they'll be the same length. So you can go straight into a zonker type head here if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind a fluorescent orange dyed golden pheasant rump feather, and that will just give me more sort of leggy feeling. Will advance me forward, because it's quite difficult to create a muddler type head on this thick portion here. So if we can take that up with a hackle, tie it in by its tip, fold it over, and then wrap that hackle over that portion. You could also add rubber legs if you feel like it at this stage. So then I'm going to put on a bit of super glue and wrap over that. And then I'm going to put on another little bit of a fake hackle of angel hair, Angelina, whatever. Use red this time. Line the bunch. Tie it in, fold it back on itself. Just make sure nothing's tangled up. Running the scissors through it, and then we'll put on the modeler head. So for this I'm going to use a magenta dyed deer hair. I'm going to take a bunch of that, now I'm going to utilize the tips of this almost like fake hackle, so they're going to be slightly longer than the front part of it. So what I'm going to do here is to cut this off to a set length, set it on the tube, let it splay all around. It's a little bit fiddly. Get my tying thread wrapped on there, just behind where I made my fake hackle, and then as I pull into that and wrap into it, travel slightly forward through it, propping as I go. That will create a muddler type head for me. And then finish off the fly, pack that up tight. Trim that off. Take my super glue and just glue off my tie and thread, and then one sort of push. And that'll form the deer hair by just setting the tie-in tips of it. And then we need to trim our inner tube, so I've just cut my scissors slightly tight into it, then I'll spin that, and that should create a weakness in the tube so that when I take this off, the tube should come off at that point. And you can either leave it like that or you can flare it. Just make sure the hole is patent. And take our cigarette lighter. Flare the tube and again just push something through it to make sure that it's all together. And that is our Magenta Munker tied. So I suppose it's something in the Kelvin's scheme of things. So, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, leave some comments down below, tell your friends, the more the merrier, and until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.